Here it is. We finally have the first issue of the new Ultimate Spider-Man comic written by Jonathan Hickman. We have a brand new storyline about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to explore. So here we go. It is January, and we see Peter Parker thinking about his age, and then putting on his wedding ring. Oh, he's married? Let's find out who is the wicked girl. Or woman, I presume. Oh, he has children, great! Wait, wasn't he a teen superhero? Well, not anymore. The mother has a red hair. Oh yes, it's Mary Jane. I should have figured it out when I saw the hair cover of the children. Peter has some kind of a sphere in his head, but he must leave and I presume we won't understand what is this yet. He is going to work, it is snowing. Oh, I know this guy.
Parker!
He has something to tell Peter, but wait. What? The managing editor is Ben Parker? He is alive here? So, the Parker J. Jonah was yelling at wasn't Peter. How nice. They're talking business stuff and then they have a meeting at 4. Oh, Peter arrives and it seems he's late. Ben and Peter leave the room, but Jonah stops Peter. Jonah seems confused why Peter doesn't wear a tie, and then he pulls off his own tie from around his neck, tying it for Peter. Before leaving, Peter asks Jonah about his uncle, but Jameson responds telling Peter to ask him himself. Peter and Ben are heading towards the memorial. Peter finally asks Ben about his feelings, and after a few, Ben tells him about everything, about the things him and May did for Peter, about never trying to replace his parents. Ben asks Peter, is there one day in the past 20 years that Peter didn't think about his parents with pain in his heart? No, he whispers. Then Ben nods, and they continue their walk. Before arriving to the memorial for the Stark attack, we see May Parker's name written among the others. We also see a priest talking with sadness about the lives that had been lost. Next on the microphone is Harry Osborn, who lost both his parents during the Stark attack. Harry says some heavy words that show us he can't measure what happened and the memories are not enough for him. Then we see Peter promising MJ that after he checks in the office, he will be back home. Ben and Peter are back at the office, and they hear Jonah's voice shouting,
I quit!
He throws some newspapers and leaves the office. Ben enters and asks the board what happened. It seems that some changes were made, and Jonah is not happy with them. Ben looks at the newest member of the board, who has a bodyguard beside him. This man tells Ben that the newspaper needs a new leadership after Jonah is out of the game, and offers Ben to replace him. Ben smiles and leaves. We see Ben entering the elevator with Jonah and both of them leaving the Daily Bugle. We pick up with Fisk and his bodyguard entering a car, and just before Fisk gets into it, something blows up the car. It appears to be the Green Goblin. That leaves us to think this is Harry, who can't bear the pain from the Stark attack, but we don't know for sure. Then we are at the bar with no name, where Jonah and Ben are having some beers and talking about founding their own newspaper. At the middle of their sweet talk, Peter joins them and tells them that Robbie is in charge of the paper for now. Jameson finishes his beer and leaves them to have a family talk. The main topic is that Peter feels something is missing in his life, something he can't explain, and need Ben to give him his opinion about this situation. Ben smiles and tells him that he can't wait for something to happen. He stands up, tells him that he loves him, and gives him the advice that in situations like this, action is needed. He tells Peter to wake up, pats him on the shoulder, and leaves the bar. Peter returns home and puts his kids into bed. He comes out to the living room and finds MJ waiting with a bottle of wine. They're talking about their day before MJ finally asks Peter what is being bothering him. Peter tells her that he needs a change. MJ is positive and shows support, telling him that he was alongside her when she started her new business. But Peter has something to tell. He says that he needs to change himself. She understands that. She knows that he is putting on a smile, but he is not happy at all. There is something that is bothering him for so long, and she knows. She only needs to know if something between them will change, and Peter responds fast, with the only word MJ needs to hear at this moment. Never. She kisses him on the forehead and leaves him alone. He stands, pulls out the silver bow from his briefcase and walks out on the rooftop of their building. The snow falls as he looks at the bow and remembers last night. He was in his room, working late, as a strange box appeared. It began sparkling and suddenly an image of Tony Stark appeared in front of himself. Tony explains that this is a message from around 6 months ago and is addressed to Peter Parker. Tony tells him that there was an attempt on his and his companions' lives and that they only had a few seconds to escape before the orbital platform fires. He continues on, telling Peter that 20 years ago, a man known as the Maker came to their world and began to alter their timeline. He tells him that his aims were to get rid of the heroes so that they would never be born. Also, that Peter was supposed to be bitten by a radioactive spider and become a superhero. The Maker set up his own secret cabal and began quietly to control the world. Tony tells Peter that he is doing the same thing with other superheroes that was deprived from their superpowers. He also tells him that he was supposed to save lives and inspire people to be their best selves, that the Maker robbed Peter from his destiny and asks him if he wants to take it back. Back on the rooftop, Peter taps the silver bow and it begins to transform in his hand. Inside, he finds a small vial with a radioactive spider. Then Peter whispers, "I want it," as he releases the spider to land gently on his hand and bite him. As the sun is rising behind Peter, the dawn of the day comes with the dawn of the ultimate Spider-Man. If you enjoyed this video, you are welcome to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next ones.